Welcome to Isla Nublar, Jurassic Park, or at least what's left of it. 4 years have passed since the fall of the park, and in that time, nature has reclaimed most of the land. Dinosaurs now run freely on the island, with nobody around to monitor them. The United Nations have decided to block access to the island for everyone, calling it a containment zone. Scientists have argued that they should be allowed to study the dinosaurs of Isla Nublar. Dinosaurs have been extinct for the last 65 million years, so denying scientists the right to study these creatures is an affront to science itself. However, the UN continued to refuse anyone from stepping foot onto the island. But that hasn't stopped one scientist from taking things into his own hands. Dr. Henry Wu, the head scientist of Jurassic Park, has gathered together a team of scientists and funding from private investors to continue his dinosaur research. However, since Isla Nublar is a containment zone, he couldn't continue his research there, so he had to improvise. Welcome to Isla Sorna, an island that sits in the middle of the Las Cinco Muertes, the 5 deaths. Isla Sorna is located 87 miles west of Isla Nublar and located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, making it the perfect location for a black site. Isla Sorna was once a Spanish military outpost from World War II, but it has been since abandoned for over half a century now. With that out of the way, Dr. Wu needed a research compound to conduct his experiments. He hired a private construction company and paid them to keep quiet about the secret research site. Construction began on the compound, beginning with the entrance, which was through helicopter. A small geothermal plant is then constructed to give power to the research compound. A research center is then constructed, allowing the scientists to do their job. A staff center is also constructed, allowing for some scientists to stay on the island for long periods of time. Then a ranger station is constructed. Ranger teams are to be deployed to monitor the dinosaurs in their natural habitat. Right next to the ranger station is an employee break area for when employees need a break from work, which will definitely be needed in the coming future. On the opposite side of the compound from the ranger station and the break area, the compound control facility is constructed. This is the heart of the compound where Dr. Henry Wu will conduct most of his own personal research. In front of the compound, a medical facility is constructed in case of disease outbreak within the dinosaur populations. Right next to the medical facility, a Hammond creation lab is constructed. This is where dinosaurs will be bred and released into the island's ecosystem. Once the laboratory is constructed, fencing is erected around the compound to keep the workers separated from the outside ecosystem. It would take the entire night, but eventually the fencing around the compound would be fully constructed. With that, the research compound is fully up and running. Outside of the compound, the area had been flattened to make room for construction. Now that it was completed, the area outside was redecorated with foliage and a small lake. This area would become home to the first species of dinosaur on the island. As such, research began on bringing dinosaurs back to life. Dr. Wu's scientists decided to start off easy with a species that had already been created for Jurassic Park. So, the very first species introduced to Isla Sorna would be the Parasaurolophus. Two batches of parasaurs were created, 3 males and 3 females. Unlike their cousins on Isla Nublar, Tree frog DNA isn't located anywhere in their system, allowing the dinosaurs to breed freely if they wanted to. The Parasaurolophus quickly adapted to their new home, seeing as there wasn't any kind of fencing that was keeping them from stretching their limbs. With the success of the parasaurs, Dr. Wu ordered for the creation of a brand new species of dinosaur. After much work, the scientists introduced a brand new medium-sized herbivore species, the Corythosaurus. Like with the parasaurs, 2 batches of Corythosaurs were created, 2 males and 2 females. The Corythosaurs and the Parasaurolophuses stayed distant at first, suspicious of each other's presence. Eventually, they would merge their herds together. A ranger outpost is then created for ranger teams to occasionally come in and monitor the species as they adjust to their newest habitat. The Isla Sorna ecosystem project had only just begun, but it was already showing great promise. As long as governments and the United Nations didn't learn about the island, Dr. Wu would have free reign over the island and what species he could create. Soon, the scientists would learn the hard way. There are forces mankind was never meant to control.